weird energetic where they're like,
you know what?
they're
This
like
is
all
perfect.
smiling and they're like, it's so great to meet you, and you're like, that's just creepy. Like it's weird.
It's funny you say that because, oh man, I just saw this a couple weeks ago. Smallville. Remember
Oh
that show?
yeah, dude. I used to love that show.
Well, you remember? She's a happy-go-lucky girl, like the blonde-haired chick.
Yeah, no, I saw
Yeah,
that
she
on
was
a
in the
documentary on HBO.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
So Lex Luthor, the guy who played Lex Luthor,
Yep.
he has his own podcast. Hey,
No
what a
way, I
shout
didn't
out.
know that. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
really cool dude. And it's like he's talking about the time that he saw. Her name was, I think, Allison Mack.
Yes.
So he's talking about like the first time he saw her in how many years, and he's like, hey Allison, how's it going? She's like, oh my god, I'm so happy to see you. Like, what's like? She was, the whole conversation was off, and he's talking about like how she was just kind of, the conversation was like not really about her. She was all about him, and what he's doing,
trying to
what's going
recruit.
on.
Oh boy.
She's like, oh, you want to hang out later, and so she actually came over, and next thing you know, it was the weirdest thing because she came over with, it was her and I guess you could say like her, handler or whatever you want to call it. And so she kind of goes in, and he's like, what the hell's going on? As he opens the door to his house, she goes right to the kitchen, starts making food. He's like, what the hell's going on? And so this guy walks up. He's like, oh, don't mind her. Like, she's gonna, fix some food. He's like, wait, you're my house. What the hell's happening?
That is weird.
So he's having this conversation. He's like, I just feel off. I just feel weird. And he's, the guy just asked me like they're pretty generic questions, and I'm trying to deflect. I'm like, Allison, what's going on? She just like was so out of it and whatnot. So he eventually told him, like, you guys, like, listen, I'm happy to see you, but you got to leave.
Jeez. So yeah, they're trying to recruit him.
Yeah. And apparently it was like a month ago, because I'm not sure if they're doing a Netflix special on this or not, but they basically, there was a videotape that released when Allison like was just first there at the center where she actually meets the founder. And the woman who actually used to be in this sex cult, whatnot, she was like, in order, like, the fact that she met the founder within like 2 weeks is so huge, like, you don't understand.
Yeah.
But the way he was talking to her, though, the conversation was the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Right.
Because he was like, well, what do you want to do with your life? And she's like, well, like, I just want to make people happy with my art and be creative and whatnot. The dude goes up to her and is like, maybe what you find happy is not what, other people will find like just as fulfilling as you. He was like second guessing what she wanted to do with her life. Like, what the hell is this?
I saw it. So it was like an HBO thing. They had like a few episodes of it.
Yeah.
And it was like, cause she thinks she went to prison for it too. And
Yeah,
she went like, it was weird. Like and HBO and Netflix, they're all so good with this stuff. Like
Yeah.
you start and you're like, it's kind of like it almost made it sound like a Tony Robbins kind of thing where like it's these people that made a lot of money, but they were lost in life and trying to figure it out. And this guy was like this really nice, like, go-getting kind of guy. And he's bringing basically to a point where I was kind of like, I could see myself like joining. And then cause it was like networking and like meeting all these great people, and people were meeting their wives and husbands through it and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so but then like, it's what happens with these like leaders, like, it's like they have too much power, so they start messing, and then they realize they can get away with it. And so like he then started creating this like caste system of like scarf colors, and so they would have to and he got some people like he got some people that were like his understudies that were like really into it, so they of course backed him up. So it was like you had to put in like millions of dollars and like hours to get this scarf stuff, so that it basically became a full-time job. And then they'd recruit people, but you had to have a certain kind of like financial set to come in. And then the other thing though that got me was, and it seems like a lot of like weird cult leaders do this, was he then started like bringing in certain women. It's always, I never heard this before. He started like demanding their diets and their weight. And I don't know what it is, but it's like the way, and I apologize. It's a very rude thing to say, but I'm just going to say it seems like you've made it as a cult leader if you can get women to control their diets and their weight. Like, it seems to be a common practice with a lot of cult leaders, like controlling women like that, which like, it baffles me. But it's just like they're like, well, if you can control what they're eating and their weight, you got them. And it's like, it makes like the weirdest sense to me. But guys, I guess, are different from women. Like I can put on 100 pounds and I'd be like, whatever. Like I'm muscular even though I'm fat, and
You can dodge your weight, you can dodge a ball.
exactly. But like seriously, no. But like that's seriously what happened. 'Cause they
Yeah.
said that Allison Mack did that.
Yeah.
Like the guru guy was like, hey, like I want you to stop eating, and she didn't eat for like 2 months.
Yeah,
Like it was weird.
when they found her, like they just like they were like, you know, she used to be so happy, like just bubbly. It's like
Yeah.
this chick was just like depressed. In
yeah,
in
he
they
messed with her mind. Yeah, yeah, it was
wow.
bad.